Hi Aries, welcome to your August 2021 Tarot Scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aries, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings, so not everything is going to resonate with everyone. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I absolutely love you for it. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's get into it. Let's see what is going on for you Aries over the month of August. So remember, whether you're a sun, moon or ascendant sign, the fact that the sun is now in the sign of Leo is offering you a harmonious energy because it offers you a trine energy. Trine is all about easy, harmonious energy. But remember, with trine energy, it tends to be a little bit lazy. You have to do something with it. Now, because you're in Aries, this doesn't really matter because you're naturally very active. You tend to be quite proactive. So use this to your advantage. The things that you want to do are now going to be easier for you. So in some way, shape or form, you've got the kind of the go ahead, right? So speaking of your actions and interactions with the world at large, you have the Death card. So this is about you completing something, culminating something, ending something. Now, it doesn't have to be doom and gloom. This could literally be you're coming to the end of a course that you've been studying. Maybe you are finishing a job and in preparation to move on to a new job or a promotion of some sort. The Death card usually just means endings, completions, culminations. It rarely means death, and when it does, you know I will tell you because there are very specific signatures that come up with it. So the fact that you have this with your actions and interactions with the world at large, yes, this month you are bringing things to an end. I think you're going to be very clear on what it is that you're ready to let go of, what it is that you're ready to release, and what it is that you're, where it is in your life actually that you're ready to go in a new direction. What I will say to you as well, whenever the Death card shows up, because this is you being active about these things that are ending, this already puts you kind of ahead of the situation. Sometimes when the Death card shows up, it represents where someone is kind of, it represents the choice that you have to release something, and if you don't release it, you usually end up running into problems, challenges or hold-ups. So have that as a consideration. Whatever you're completing or culminating or ending this month, it's actually the right time for it. For your money and materials, you have the Wheel of Fortune. It's an interesting card to have next to the Death card, right? Remember, the Wheel of Fortune brings luck, success and abundance, but it usually brings it puts you in the right place at the right time. So when it comes to money, finances, resources, it looks like one earning stream, what they called revenue stream, one way that you make money may be coming to an end. But because you've got the Wheel of Fortune there, it's basically saying whatever is coming to an end, whatever you're releasing, for some of you this could be literally letting go of or paying off a debt, which is always a good feeling. The fact that you have this Wheel of Fortune means that when it comes to your finances, in some way, shape or form, this week you are in the right place at the right time. In some way, shape or form, this puts you in good stead. This allows you to be ahead of the game in some way. And not only that, it sees you having a possibility or an opportunity to get ahead when it comes to the finances. It's actually a really good card for health. You put these two together when it comes to health though, and it does suggest that something either about your diet or about your activities on a physical level is having to come to an end. The other way that you can read this as well is literally a journey or a travel that you were planning to take is not going ahead. There's either a delay on it. I mean, it is the Death card, so this suggests maybe you're cancelling it for any number of reasons. But all in all, I like the Wheel of Fortune in the money and materials. It also suggests that the material plane, there are going to be pockets of opportunity, and more importantly, there are going to be moments of synchronicity. For your wrong deck, communications and conversations, and often your work life, you've got the Ace of Cups. I mean, you put this next to the Wheel of Fortune, that is spontaneous blessings. This is good news. This is oh no, I'm leaving my job, but the job that I'm going to is absolutely brilliant, and I found out that I'm getting more money for it than I expected in the original discussion. The Ace of Cups isn't just good news, it's also heartfelt communication, because it's in that communicative sphere and it's talking about your work as well. This is and it's right next to the Wheel of Fortune. That is big blessings, great news, fresh starts in some way, shape or form. Fresh starts with if you've had a problem or a challenge with somebody that you care about, maybe a family member, a friend or a partner, this month is going to this month will go a long way towards reconciliation for you, which I think is actually really nice. Another way that you could see this as well with the Wheel of Fortune, that is conception or birth energy. So for those of you that are looking to conceive or start a family this month, the energy is definitely there for it. For those of you that are hoping for a safe delivery or hoping for a safe birth, you've absolutely got the go ahead. With that Ace of Cups, you are getting good news about somebody that you love or somebody that you care about that is going to make your heart happy as well. And you possibly have a part to play in this, or you may be playing a supporting role in some regard. This month, I will say to you, when you are called upon for help, assistance, go where you are called, because it looks like you're not just providing assistance, you're also providing, or you're also receiving some sort of support or benefit from it as well. For your heart and half, in your emotional sector, you've got the Four of Swords, right? So this is about taking a break. It's about taking a rest. It's about taking things down to ground. Whenever I see the Four of Swords, I'm always reminded that sometimes we need to slow down. The reason I say this is because I remember when I was 20... How old was I? I think I was 24 at the time, 24, 25, yeah, maybe slightly younger. And at the time I was still dancing quite a lot. And I remember having a reading and the Four of Swords came up really, really prominent. And I remember this lady saying to me in the reading, you need to slow down. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool, that's great. And then I had a Reiki session from this small old lady who absolutely blew my fucking socks off. I literally felt like I was levitating off the bed. And I was kind of jumping and jerking during the session, and she said to me, you're always in a rush, you need to slow down. This Four of Swords kept coming up in readings, and it kept, like, that same message kept coming up. And lo and behold, I had a car accident and damaged my Achilles tendon, and that put me out for a good 8 weeks. And that was, the message that came through. So when I see this card, I'm always reminded to tell people somewhere in this area of your life, you need to slow down. With when it comes to those of you that are newly seeing somebody, it's right next to the Ace of Cups. If it's good now, it's going to continue to be good. You know, sometimes when you spend every waking hour with somebody, it doesn't matter how much you love them, eventually something that they do annoys you. If you are newly connected to someone, you're still in that honeymoon period, yes. But don't sour the sweetness by having too much of it. Sometimes, or rather, like in baking, you've got to put a little bit of salt in the cake to kill the sweetness, because otherwise it's just unpleasant. It's the same kind of message there. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term relationships, this month there is a sense of reconciliation. There's a sense that you guys are able to get back on track, but it comes, not without effort, and not without, the need to stand still, to do nothing, to hold back in some way, shape or form. All right, so for your first week of the month of August, you have the Judgment card. So the Judgment card coupled with the Death card is actually can represent mediumship. I've seen this a lot, right? And I mean more times than I can count. So when I see this combination, I usually say to people, go and see a medium. If you already have that gift or that tendency yourself, listen to it, because you'll be getting messages from beyond over the course of this first week. The other thing that I will say to you with that Judgment card as well, remember, it represents big changes, huge changes. So this is you ending something and going possibly in a very different direction to the one that you were on. Maybe your path was going forward and now you're taking a sharp right turn. I will say this to you as well, if you, in this first week of the month, it would not surprise me if you are having dreams about loved ones and family members that have passed on. Pay attention to those dreams. Keep a dream journal. Write those things down that they say to you, because they will be important to you at some way, at some moment later on. You know, yes, mediumship is a very specific gift. I have found through my tarot practice that every so often people will pop in and I'm like, oh, okay, that's definitely not for me. It's for whoever I'm reading for. But I would say it's a very specific gift. But we are all prone to, and all have, because it's a deeply human phenomena, to have interactions with those that have passed, whether they come near, whether you hear them say your name, you know, whether they, you know, push you out of the way before you get hit by a bike, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's not as uncommon or as supernatural as the movies make it out to be. It's actually deeply human phenomena. So pay attention to that stuff if it comes up for you this month. Your second week of the month, you have the Temperance card right underneath the Wheel of Fortune. This is huge. The first thing that I want to say to you, whatever your bad habits or personal vices are, you're going to be going a long way to end them in this second week. Now, I don't want to scare you, but one way that this could come up, maybe you've been saying to yourself for the longest time, I'm going to quit drinking, and you haven't, and you know you've struggled with it, and so you could have an absolute blowout here in the second week. You wake up and you think, right, this is not just a hangover, like I literally feel like, you know, so there's something that's going to happen this month in this second week that might push you to really think about looking after your health in a much better way. With this underneath the Wheel of Fortune, that's very lucky, and it's also because it's the Temperance card, this is something that you've wanted to draw near, or something that you've been working on manifesting or bringing into your life is now making its presence known, which is really exciting. You know, whatever you've manifested, it's on its way for sure. For your third week of the month, you have the Hierophant card underneath the Ace of Cups. So for a lot of you, you will be hearing about an engagement or a marriage in the third week of the month. I really like this. This is good news about a family member, a loved one, possibly even a partner or one of your children. You know, this is just really great news that makes you very happy, but it's about somebody else making something official. So this would be like an engagement, we're starting a family and now we're pregnant, you know, I've just had my first baby. Like, this is just really good heartfelt news. It's also the acquisition of something on the material plane that you've been working towards. These cards are really giving me those kinds of vibes. And then your fourth week of the month, you've got the Moon card underneath the Four of Swords. So the mood and the feelings are a little bit erratic in the fourth week of the month. And you know, it's not to say, you know, not to tell you how you feel or how you should feel, but I get this feeling from this that it's almost like you're afraid to be alone in the fourth week of the month, and you need to observe why that is. You know, like some people can't just be the person that sits in silence. They have to fill the silence with something, you know, like all of us, you know. It's really funny, like, you know, what did we do before mobile phones when we were at the train station waiting to go somewhere? We just stood without faffing about on our phones, right? This fourth week of the month, I think if you're in a partnership or a relationship, you could get this, you know, maybe there's a fear there that actually, you know what, I don't want to be alone. This might force you to question why you are actually with the person that you're with. Is it just because you don't want to be lonely? Is it out of necessity, or is it because you actually want to be with them? That's a big question to ask, and it's one that's demanding an answer this month. And then finally, for those of you that are single, you might be saying to yourself, you know, I want to be with somebody, I want to be in a partnership, I want to be in a relationship. Ask yourself why. You know, is it because you actually want to be in a relationship, or is it about more than that? All right, so let's have a look at your moons and your lunations. Your new moon of the month, you have the Gate, 5 and Patience patience. So the new moon of August is really asking you, so the Leo new moon is asking you to understand where it is not only that you need to have more patience, but more importantly where you need to have more faith. You see the frog on the lily, so basically the frog will wait for flies and insects and stuff to come, and it will snatch them in with its tongue. And the reason it's able to wait is because it knows that something will always come. The thing that I need, the thing that I'm waiting for to sustain me, will always be there. There will always be another one. And that's what the new moon is trying to show you. The full moon is the gate 43 and getting ahead, right? So this is interesting that you've got this kind of juxtaposition here. The August full moon will also be in the sign of Aquarius. So in your kind of 5th house, depending on, you know, whether you're an ascendant Leo, obviously an ascendant Aries even. The gate 43 card and that ahead is about knowing when to strike, when the opportunity is right. So just like the frog will be patient because it knows that the next meal will come, but what does it do? Once it sees that fly or that insect or whatever that it's going to eat, it acts, and quickly. That's what this card is about, the gate 43. It's about decisive action when the moment is right. This is really going to show you where not to procrastinate this month. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.